Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Saturday game day edition of Morning Scone, presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Parish Construction and Roofing. If you need an orthopedist, you go to Brock. They're the best. Big shout out to Brock. After Hours Clinic was rolling last night, as they will be every Friday night after high school football games. Free Friday night clinic for any high school football athlete, cheerleader, anybody who needs to see a doctor after an orthopedist after a football Friday nights. Parish Construction and Roofing, y'all, we are rolling as well, man. After Francine, remember we actually have crews this morning in Homa. Actually, where? So there was a roof. There was already a roof going up today. It was roof going up in Homa this morning. So crews are already doing work, man. If you know of anybody after Francine that needs a roof repair, replacement, inspection, parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Unique Physique and Restored Motions, uniquephysique.com, restoredmotions.com. Okay, y'all, we appreciate y'all so much for being there with us. Good morning. It's game day, LSU, South Carolina. Y'all know my thoughts on it. I've given it sorry. Sorry. Okay. Game day, LSU, South Carolina. I have been probably the most adamant all week. Mentioned it in Locked on LSU. That episode, our preview episode, is live. So there wasn't a new episode today. I gave you my preview prediction episode that landed yesterday. I'll do, and that because it's a morning game. There was no sense in dropping a new episode 2-3 hours before kickoff. So I figured, look, I'll do a post game episode today, and then I'll have another full episode starting on Monday. But anyway, so I've been probably the most adamant all week. I don't think South Carolina is any good. Offensively, they're a bad football team. The 2 touchdowns they scored against Old Dominion came after Old Dominion fumbled inside their own 10. So they had 2 goal-to-go situations. Last week against Kentucky, 1 touchdown was a pick six. 2 of their touchdowns were one was a busted play, a 41-yard or something like that. 41-yard catch and run on a busted play, and the other was set up by a catch on a busted play. 2 there were like Sellers threw for 166, 78 of it, something like 75 of it came on 2 plays that were both busted plays. So the translation: don't fumble inside your 10, don't have coverage bust in the secondary, and you're going to be fine. So I just don't think this South Carolina offense is good enough to just methodically move down the field. And I think LSU should win the game and win the game comfortably. I have them 31-13. I just don't. I have seen nothing from South Carolina offensively that makes me think that's a good football team and they're going to give LSU trouble today. The part of South Carolina's team that is good is their pass rush. Those 2 ends are really good, and they've combined for 6 sacks through 2 games, 10 sacks as a team through 2 games. But this is a different kind of challenge, obviously, with Will Campbell and Emory Jones. So Garrett Dellinger's back today. I know everybody wants to see the rush offense. I'm telling you, for me, it's less about the rush offense today. I know we all want to see him run the ball and be able to run the ball when they need to, and maybe they do. Maybe they have a lead and they're able to salt it away. But for me, I more look at this and I go, there are just not enough athletes on South Carolina's team in their secondary to guard all of the LSU receivers. So if that's the case, get out there and keep Nuss upright, sling it around, and go make plays in space, because I think they'll be able to do it. So just my take on it. Let me know what you think. Questions, comments, fire away. Game day's there. Look at Darius Rucker playing a little wagon wheel over there. I kind of wish he'd play some Hootie more than Wagon Wheel. Feels like every time I see Darius Rucker, the only song he plays is Wagon Wheel. You know what I mean? Anyway. Okay, Tiger Diver, good morning. Who we betting today? Okay, I'll run through the bets. I'll run through Phil Steele's bets. By the way, Phil Steele last night had UNLV. UNLV beat Kansas outright. So strong performance. Here you go. Here's your bets. UNLV hit last night. Cincinnati minus 3.5. Central Michigan plus 19. Maryland minus 2.5. Oregon State plus 16.5. Florida State minus 6. Florida plus 3.5. Colorado State plus 7. Washington minus 4. Arkansas minus 24. Toledo plus 12. Those are your bets from Phil Steele. Phil had a great week last week. My goodness. Wendell Norman, good morning. Jeremy Vince, morning, Matt. Hope all is well with you and the family. Go Tigers. Hey, Melody, good morning. Good morning, y'all. Randall, good morning. I don't have a good feeling about this game. Randall, you and I are on complete opposite ends of the spectrum. I get it's college game day. It's 11 a.m. It's on the road. It's going to be a packed house. I get all that stuff. I get all the reason for anxiety. It's never easy to go win on the road in the SEC. All that stuff I understand. I'm just telling you, that there's hi. What? Well, you better come give me a good morning hug then. You better give me a hug. And Van. Oh, look at my boy who got up. Hi. What do you say? Oh, he sees my. What do you say?
Hi, Dad. Show.
Oh, I think what we need to do is not look at Daddy's PHONE. What do we need to? What do you? Who is that?
That's true.
It's Dad's show. Mwah. I love you so much. Did you sleep so good last night?
No. Go.
Now what?
iPad.
You want the iPad? What you gonna watch on the iPad? What are you gonna watch on the iPad?
Gordy.
Gordy. He wants to watch Gordy Rush on the iPad. Okay. All right. You can go watch Gordy on the iPad. I love you so much. I love you so much. Okay, Daddy will get it for you. All right. All right. My guy just wants to go watch Gordy Rush on the iPad. Rob jumping straight on from Hanny show. Yeah. So I was on Eagle. I did my hit on Eagle game day just then. I was waiting to do that before I started here. So those guys are wrapping up here in about 10 minutes or so. Brett DeGrow, good morning. Travel Man, what's up? Trey Fisher, good morning. Donovan Peterson, Donald M. Brad David, what up, y'all? Good morning. Happy game day, everybody. Jesse, good morning. Worried about this game with the injuries LSU has on defense. Yeah, so if y'all didn't see today, availability report, no Chris Hilton, no Deshaun Womack, no Jordan Allen. None of that really surprising. They are going to get Garrett Dellinger back, which is good news. Looks like they might have Kyle Parker back as well today. So another weapon on the outside for LSU. I hear you about the injuries, but I mean, look, you're going to go to a platoon situation on the inside. You'll have Sean Washington very likely starting there in place of Guillory next to Paez. You're going to see Whit Weeks. I think this is a tailor-made game for Whit Weeks, Greg Penn. Strong off-ball linebackers in the middle, especially Penn. I mean, I know we've talked a lot about Weeks this week, and he's awesome. Strong in the middle, his ability to run and cover, he's great. But this is also one of those games for Penn, is a big, strong, physical, Mike linebacker, and I think he could play a big role today. Like, it wouldn't surprise me at all if Greg Penn leads you in tackles today. Aaron Fontaine, good morning, Scone and fellow Sconers from NC. Morning, Scone on my TV, game day on the phone. Go Tigers. Love it, Aaron. Thank you so much, man. Jeremy, betting LSU money line with LSU scoring first, LSU team over 31. Okay. Larry Garner, good morning. Go Tigers. Brett, what's up, man? 28-13, Nuss with three tuds, Jackson with one. It'll be interesting to see if Caleb Jackson gets going. We've, through 2 games, Caleb Jackson is 30. I think through 2 games, Caleb Jackson is 30 yards rushing. Let's see. Caleb Jackson, 13 for 42, a long of 9. It would be great to see him get going. I know everybody wants to see LSU establish a run and get it going. I'm just telling you, if you're playing the matchup, hey, there's LSU getting off the bus. If you're playing the matchup, this is one where you expect LSU to make hay in the air. Elijah Steele, more than Matt, South Carolina only had 5 offensive touchdown drives for a total of 189 yards. Their 2 touchdown drives against Old Dominion started at 3 and 6. Talked about it, man. 2 touchdown drives inside the 10 that came off of fumbles. And then last week against Kentucky, one of their touchdowns was a busted play, like a 41-yard. I'll tell you exactly what it was. It was a busted play. I was watching the game, man. Like I was watching that Kentucky game. I'm telling you, y'all, they are an awful offensive football team. Like, I mean, if LSU loses this game, y'all, I'm telling you, if LSU loses this game, it is one of those things. Let's see. 24-yarder from Lenora Sellers to Mazio Bennett. And then the last one was a pick 6. After Kentucky put their backup quarterback in, he threw a pick 6. I mean, and I think it was the Rocket Sanders touchdown that was set up by another coverage bust. They had 2 receptions. One was let's see. I'll tell you right now. One was like 41, one was like 38. Sorry, 36 and 32. Bennett had the 32-yarder and Smith had the 36-yarder. That's the tight end. Michael Smith he's a 6'6" kid, 250. He's a freshman. It was one of the coverage busts, and they hit him for 36, and that set up one of their scores. I mean, I'm just telling y'all, man, I have no respect at all for the South Carolina offense. If they win today, if South Carolina wins today and the offense scores a bunch and all this stuff, it ain't going to be because South Carolina got awesome offensively. It's going to be because LSU really is bad defensively. But after watching this defense limit a USC offense that has legit athletes and a 4th-year quarterback and one of the best play callers of this or any era calling plays, and you limited that offense to 20 points until the final 8 seconds when they scored and went to 20, even 27. I mean, anyway. Hunter Broadhead. Hey, Matt, good morning. Do you think Kiffin would go to Florida? Why does the line keep going down the LSU game? I don't get it. I don't get it either. What is the line right now? I haven't seen what it is this morning. Let's see. It's at 6. So 6. I mean, it was I think it opened at 8.5. Let's see. It opened at 8.5. It's down to 6. I don't know. I mean, sharp money's coming in on South Carolina. Again, y'all, maybe this ends up being a really close game. Maybe LSU sleepwalks through it. Maybe it's a tight game. If it is, I'll be perplexed. I can't get there on South Carolina, y'all. I mean, I tell y'all, I try to be honest. If I think LSU is going to lose, I'll pick them to lose a game. If I think it's going to be close, I'll tell y'all. I mean, my whole thing on the USC game in the opener was I think that was a 4-quarter game. While a lot of people thought it was going to be a rout, I was like, these teams are mirror images. I think it comes down to the final possession of the 4th quarter. I think LSU's offensive line, though, was good enough to put the game away. And you had 2 possessions in the 4th quarter with the lead, and you couldn't build your lead or salt the game away. So, and then SC made the plays late to win it. I mean, so I was on the wrong side, but the way the game played out was how I thought it would. This one, man, a lot of sharps are on the sharp money is on South Carolina. It's why that line has come down. Public action isn't going to move a line. Sharp action will. And to go from 8.5 to 6 means a lot of the sharp money is on South Carolina in this game, and I think they're wrong. I've watched that team play. Oh, Wegman dealing with an injury. Maybe the weather is part of what's causing this as well. It's raining there in South Carolina this morning. Maybe that's part of what's causing the line movement. I don't know. Bailey, love your confidence, Matt. Your lack of negativity on this team is refreshing. Look, Bailey, I want to be clear though, man. I am not a sunshine pumper. You all know that. Like, I am not a sunshine pumper. if I think they're bad, I'm going to tell you they're bad. If I think they're going to be good, I'm going to tell you I think they're going to be good. I don't know where I land with this team completely yet because they're still figuring things out. But I also know that 2 games, whoops, what in the world? Hang on. I'm trying, y'all. Hang on one second. I don't know where my camera got unplugged. Uh, the world happened there. Hang on. Hang on. There it is. That was weird. I don't know what happened there. It's like got unplugged. I don't know how that. Anyway, so we're talking about this team. Look, I guess I've also just looked at this team for 2 years under Brian Kelly, this program under 2 years of Brian Kelly, and I've seen them improve. Like the last 2 years ago, they were bad against Florida State. By the time you got to October, they beat Ole Miss. They got on a roll. They ended up beating Alabama. Like teams improve, man. Things change. You learn more about your team. Like we're going to see more of Whit Weeks. You're probably going to see Harold Perkins play more outside today. Jordan Allen's out. Do you move Major Burns back to star? Do we see more of Zy Alexander? Does that move Sage Ryan back to safety? It's just a dramatically different look than what we saw 2 weeks ago against Southern Cal. You know, you're going to continue growing and developing and learning about your team, man. So let's see how it goes. Deborah, good morning. Eli, morning, Matt. Such a shame that Fuaga had a great debut. Now might not play this week. Would have been a really good benchmark going against Parsons and Lawrence. He may still play for the Saints. We'll see. It sounds like they're trying to get him ready to roll for the game, so we'll see. Patrick, good morning. Go Tigers. We got this. Who's the celebrity guest picker for game day? Also, Missouri, Boston College, low-key, big game, and BC has a history of unlikely upsets. That's true, and they ran the ball very impressively against Florida State, which is why a lot of people are on that game. Missouri's 2-0, but they've played nobody at all. This will be obviously a very big test for them. It is in Como. Missouri's a 15.5-point favorite, something like that. I would play, if you're going to play the game, I would play BC in the points. But I do think Missouri's going to win that game. Let's see. Caleb, morning, Matt. Thoughts on Saints Dallas? Dallas has trouble with Kyle's scheme. Kubiak seems close enough to hopefully defense can keep it close. We'll talk more about it tomorrow, but I think that Dallas is at home. I obviously think they have the better quarterback. I think they're the better team, deeper, better roster. I do think Dallas is going to win the game tomorrow. But that's okay. My contention is going to be, even if you lose to Dallas, you got to get one of the next 2 against Philly and Atlanta. You do that, you're going to put yourself in a great position to be 4-3 through 7 weeks. And that's going to give you a shot to finish somewhere around 8, 9, 9, and 8, maybe win the division. So got to win one of the next 2 after Dallas if you lose. Brian Penn, good morning from Columbia, LA. Finally home. There you go, Brian. Glad to have you home, man. Ryan, way too many LSU fans let Nichols game cloud their judgment on this team. They should roll South Carolina. I mean, I'll say it again about the Nichols game. It's an FCS opponent. You were on short rest after flying home from Vegas. The same way that the fans weren't excited, neither were the players. Nichols is a good football team, and they were sky high for it. And for all the angst about the Nichols game, would people forget it? Because like I got on this, someone on Twitter yesterday said, Matt, Nichols ran the ball down our throat. Why do you think it'd be any different with South Carolina? And so I pointed out, no, Nichols didn't run the ball down your throat. In the first half, they carried the ball 24 times. Hang on. Nichols had 24 rushing attempts in the first half of that ball game for 24 rushes for 57 yards. 24 for 57 averages 2.4 yards per rush. In the second half, they had 14 for 93, 67 of it came on the busted play. So the point is, you have one outlier, right? You don't get to take away the 67-yarder, right? It happened. It's part of your average in the total. It happened. I'm not saying take it away. What I am saying is that play was an outlier. So aside from that play, Nichols ran 37 times for 83 yards, an average of 2.2 yards per carry. You can say, hey, LSU susceptible to a big play. Okay, that's fair. They did give up a big rushing play. What you can't say is Nichols ran the ball down your throat, because they didn't. They had one big busted play, and aside from the big busted play, they ran 37 times for 83 yards for an average of 2.2 yards per carry. Again, that's how narratives get started. They didn't run the ball down your throat. Like, they didn't. Could be 37 rush attempts. Is that what I said? 37 for 83. Like, that's not running the ball down your throat. And in the second half, after the touchdown on the second play of the half, they never threatened again, even remotely close to it. They fumbled on the first play of the next possession, went 3 and out after that, and then it was just a series of punts to get it home. LSU scored on 3 straight possessions. I mean, but that's how narratives get crafted in your mind, and then people don't shift off of them. So sometimes you have to be reminded of how something actually played out. Dre Marso, morning, Matt. What side of the line with Dylan Stewart? What side of the line with Dylan Stewart line do you think he will give us trouble? Do you mean like if he was playing the left side or the right side? I mean, considering the sorry. I mean, it's Jones and Campbell. I mean, I guess Campbell's probably a better pass blocker than Jones. So maybe Jones, but Henry Jones is awesome too. Okay. All right. Please smash the like button if you would. Subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post, all that good stuff. As always, shout out to Brock. Remember, After Hours Clinic is open today. If you need an orthopedist, Parrish Construction and Roofing. I got Parrish pinned there in the chat. So if you had any damage due to Francine or think you might, parrishbuild.com, parrishbuild.com. Wait, I want to show you all this real quick. Real quick. Where is it? Anyway, sorry, I can't find it, but maybe this is it. Nope. Dag nabbit. Anyway, it's a video of during the storm of somebody's shingles going up and then laying back down on the roof. And to where if you were just, here it is. To where if you were just looking at, if y'all can see that, I hope y'all can see that. To where if you were just looking at your roof, after the storm, you'll see the shingles they go up and then they just lay they go up and then they just lay right back down. And the point is, you from the ground will look and say, well, there's no shingles didn't blow off my roof. That's fine. But once those shingles get lifted and they're creased, they're done. Like, their efficacy is 0 now, because the next time it rains, they're going to lift again and water is going to get under there. And then you start to have water leaking under that shingle, into your decking, into your insulation, everything, causing all the problems. Now you're having a slow leak now. And that's eventually how you're going to see a water spot on your roof, on your ceiling, because you don't ever get in your attic to go look at that. That's why it's so important to get an inspection, even if you didn't have shingles blow off your roof. If you were in the path of the storm where you had high wind, it is so like, you you need someone up there to look at the shingles to see if any of them are creased or bent or lifted. So please fill out the form. It is totally free to have an inspection. I say it all the time. There's only two ways to know if you have roof damage. One, you let us come inspect. Two, you wait for it to rain, you get water in your house. And one of those options is better than the other. Parishbuilt.com. Austin, good morning. Had the kids and myself this weekend while Emily is out of town. I'm terrified a win today would make dad duty easier. Go Tigers. Good luck, man. Cameron took LSU all line at -13. I mean, I'm talking a big game this week, Cameron. I got LSU 31-13, so I think you'll be all right with that. We'll see how it goes. Irfan, Guy Morgan, Andrew Lattier. If we lose today, I'm not watching for the rest of the season. You need to consider firing BK. They're not going to fire Brian Kelly. They would owe him too much money. Dre Marceau, does Chris Hilton play? No, he does not, by the way. Let me go ahead and post this in the chat in case y'all are interested. We have the participation report for today. 3 LSU players, Chris Hilton, Deshaun Womack, Jordan Allen, all out for the game today. Here, I'll go ahead and post it. This was up an hour ago at LouisianaSports.net. So y'all should make LouisianaSports.net part of your morning routine. Go to LouisianaSports.net, check the headlines. Kyle DeVille, what's up? What happened to West Weeks? Zai, Deshaun Womack, and Jordan Allen. I mean, Jordan Allen, we know, was injured last week. Zai, yeah, Zai's probably okay. All right, you had me worried for a second there. So on the availability report, Zai Alexander probable, West Weeks questionable. So West Weeks, you might remember back into fall camp. At the back end of fall camp, I think he had a bone bruise in his foot, if I'm not mistaken. I might be confusing some of the injuries, but shoulder. I'd have. Anyway, so they've just been cautious with him there, and then Zai obviously is just coming back from still ramping up from the ACL. I would expect both of them to play. But well, let me text Gordy and see. Okay. All right. Let's see if I can get y'all an answer here from Gordy's with the team. So I'll see if I can get an answer here soon. My friend Michael, good morning. Currently en route to the game. There you go, man. Cortland, Blake, good morning. Daniel, range should be done before kickoff. Yeah, man, that's what radar. I mean, I was looking at the radar all week. That's what I've been seeing. So here's hoping. Let's see. Rapping batches, good morning. Melody, good morning to Drew. Oh, man, this is just from the Drew comments. Thank y'all so much, man, for the good mornings to Drew. I'm a little behind. Let me see if I can catch up a little bit here. I need to get Daniel. I'll get him coming here and give us a go Tigers. Hey, Ron, good morning. Tell Eric I bought my wife the Karma is a Tiger shirt. She loves it. Awesome. So that is a 929 Misfits. I'm going to tell you what, I have to give Erica credit. Like, at 929 Misfits. And by the way, Ron, did you buy? There's black, there's white, there's gray. Let me go post this in here for all those who are married to, live with, no Swifties. Erica created I wish I could show this. So one thing about StreamYard, it doesn't let me like pull up a website and share screen. So I'd have to like pull up hang on, let me see if this would work. Let me see if this would work. Let's see if that's it. Nope, that's not it. That's Mason Taylor, not Taylor Swift. Anyway, I guess I could do this, couldn't I? Hang on. This is just as easy, I suppose. So she likes the white. Oh, there's blue in there too. Oh, wow, I didn't realize it did in blue. I think the white one's probably the best one, but anyway, this one. If you have Tay fans in your family, there you go. That's an Erica design. She did great. I think Erica's designs have probably sold more shirts than any at 929 Misfits, because Erica did the Nuss Bus. She did Nuss Bus was my idea, but Erica did the design. Hang on one second. There, clear that up a little bit. The FUSC, the Tiger Tay, the Nuss Perkins 24. Anyway, she's done a lot of those designs. Matt, you heard USC quarterbacks wearing contacts today. Okay. It would probably make sense that he is. It's going to be raining. I don't think that it'd be smart to wear your rec specs when it's raining. It'd be smart to wear. Actually, it would be really smart is to go get LASIK and not have to wear contacts or rec specs. Rapid batches, you will see soon enough why people are nervous. Okay. Cortland, I've forgotten the game day intro at South Carolina and Louisiana Country Singers. James McKinney, good morning. Ryan Bolote. I'm still calling you Bolote. Good old 11 a.m. kickoff. LSU's done fine in 11 a.m. kickoffs, oddly enough. I think they're 9-1 in their last 10 at 11 a.m. Usually because you're playing at 11 a.m., you're playing a bad opponent. Dan Cox, rain is done there in the next hour. No sweating this game. Our superior talent takes over, wears down their defense, double-digit win. Michael Cook, good morning. Rocky Killian, good morning. I expect us to blow the doors off of South Carolina. We won't lose to USC twice in 3 weeks. Charlie, good morning, man. Peter, what up? Gunner, happy Wit Week's starting day. Yup. Let's see. Gulf South, what's going on, man? Good morning. Herb Street recently said breaking the less miles to Michigan News was the biggest career regret. Said he got a call. Do you know who that was? I do. It was and yes, we played that soundbite too from Herb Street. It was oh good. Oh, what's his name? Forgive me, that's been 17 years. He had ties to Herb Street at Ohio State. God dog it. Hang on. God dog it. What's his name? Let me find it. It's been a long time, but yes, I remember talking about it at the time because it became like it was someone who's friends with Herb Street, who's a DC, who had ties to Ohio State, who's taking the job with Miles at Michigan. God dog it. Anyway, now that I'm thinking of it, of course, my brain won't go back there, but I'll find it anyway. Cortland, let's see. I'll say the same thing going into state last year. I think it'll be good for them to play in front of an energetic but not 100,000 strong crowd. You know what? I think this is. Let's see. Yes, we are doing whiskey and wine. Yes, T-Bob and I will be doing whiskey and wine as soon as the game goes final from Don Juan. Don Juan's actually opening at 11. I'm still going to get there at halftime, but they're opening at 11. If you want to go watch the game with T-Bob, will be there. I know. If you want to go watch the game there, you can. Sambo, bring back Moffitt. Too many injuries with the strength and conditioning staff. You know what's funny, Sambo? That was a criticism of Moffitt as well. Like fans criticized Moffitt because they said LSU was too injured. The reality is it's football and guys get hurt. Just can't pull the flex on himself. Goose Sports, what's up? Cortland, thank you. That was, and by the way, I think it's bogus. Like, I don't think it has anything to do whatsoever with the strength and conditioning staff. I think if you were having a ton, like here, this is what I would say. If you were having a ton of soft tissue, if you were having a ton of hamstring, quad, calf, like calf strain, pulled hamstring, then I would say yes. That means you're not stretching properly, you're not warming up properly. I think then yes, that's legitimate. Chris Hilton having a bone bruise on his foot because of how he came down on a contested ball in the end zone in fall camp has nothing to do with their strength and conditioning staff. Jacoby and Guillory, a 300-pound man tearing an ACL or an Achilles, is a product of a 300-pound man putting incredible amounts of weight and stress and pressure on his Achilles. That has nothing to do with your strength and conditioning staff. It's not to say you can't do things with flexibility and things like, but still, if you're going to be 300 pounds, like you're going to be susceptible to certain things. Like, guy has a shoulder injury. That's not strength and conditioning staff. Like you're playing a physical game. You're going to have injuries. Again, I would agree with you if you were talking about, this is why Dennis Allen was so upset with Kendre Miller when he goes and pulls his hamstring the first day of training camp out there for the Saints. Like, you have to be stretched, and like, you're a pro, you have to be stretched and warm and be taken care of, hydrated, so you're taking care of your body to prevent those types of things. If that was the case, I'd be with you, but it's just not. Like, injuries happen in football, period. Chad Vicknair, any good picks for today? Yeah, I ran through Phil Steele's. Let's see, Scone trying to post another ad mid live stream. What does that mean? Another ad mid live stream? I mean, by the way, Sambo, like, this is free. You can leave. The thing that I never charge anything. I never have paywalls. I don't even have super chats turned on YouTube because I never want to monetize. I'm never going to make anybody pay for content that I put out. The one thing that I ask is, hey, if you need an orthopedist, give Brock a shot. Need a roof? Call Parrish. You're interested in semaglutide, tirzepatide? Unique Physique's awesome. They'll, over the phone, they ship anywhere in the country. Lowest prices in Louisiana, no contracts. You got pain? Try out, book a session with Crystal Poche. Like, if you're not okay with that, then leave. Because what you could do is then you could go find someone that puts out content behind a paywall, and you can pay to not have ads. I prefer an ad-based model where I endorse good businesses and I ask my audience to support those businesses if you need their services. If not, no worries, hang out. But what I don't really like is when someone like you jumps in here and complains about ads. If you don't like ads, then go find a model that's going to allow you to pay a premium and you can get an ad-free model under a subscription. I don't like subscriptions in my life. I don't like paying subscriptions. I don't like clicking on an article and then boom, paywall. I don't like clicking on a video and boom, subscribe, paywall. I would prefer to consume great content and then to have targeted ads for things that I'll actually buy. If you don't like that, then go away. Please leave. I do not care at all if you're here or not. What I don't like is that criticism, because that's the model this is. This is called an ad-based model. It's how it works. If you don't like that, then leave and go find something up behind a paywall. Chad Vicknair, good morning. Any good picks? Yeah, let me get to that. So here's Phil Steele's picks. I read through them at the beginning of the show. I'll do it again here. All right, Gordy just got back to me. He's in the press box. He hasn't gone down to the field, so he's going to give me an update on Zy Alexander and West Weeks when he goes down there. Let's see. All right, here you go. I'll run through these again for you. All right, here's Phil Steele's picks if you want them again. Phil had a great week last week, so let's hope he keeps it rolling. All right, he already won. He had UNLV last night, plus 9.5. They won outright. They beat Kansas. Here you go. Get your pens ready. Cincinnati minus 3.5. These were the lines at the time. I don't know if they've changed. Cincinnati minus 3.5. Central Michigan plus 19. Maryland minus 2.5. Oregon State plus 16.5. Florida State minus 6. Florida plus 3.5. Colorado State plus 7. Washington minus 4. Arkansas minus 24. Toledo plus 12. So those are the plays from Phil Steele. Do what you will. Kirk Taylor, good morning. Greg, good morning. Abner, good morning. Bama King, good morning. Best of luck to y'all against South Carolina. Thank you, sir. Look, it would make sense for Bama to cheer for LSU. You would kind of like for that to be a more meaningful game when LSU plays. I do think Alabama rolls Wisconsin today. Y'all know I'll be pulling hard for the Badgers. I would love to see another Bama burning. But no, I do think Alabama wins comfortably today in Madison. It's interesting since they hired Luke Fickell, they brought in Phil Longo from North Carolina. They brought in Tyler Van Dyke, the former Miami quarterback. They just have not figured out how to move the football. For so many years, it's almost like when Nebraska hired Bill Callahan and they went from the triple option, wishbone, all that stuff to the Tom Osborne offense that they did for so many years, to trying to spread it out, and they just never recruited the right athlete to be able to do that effectively, and that's what sent them on a 20-year wasteland. So anyway, I think Wisconsin is having a similar existential crisis. Big offensive linemen, run the football, Jonathan Taylor, Monte Ball, Ron Dane, all those great backs over the years, and they're like, but they realized they had a lower ceiling. I mean, they could win 9-10 games. The one-off year they could make it to the Rose Bowl, but that was it. So yeah, that was their ceiling, and I think they wanted more, and so they try to make a change, and it just feels like they've gone away from the thing that made them consistent, and they're really struggling to get the type of athlete they need to be really good. So anyway, oh look, Nick Saban's doing a film study thing. Work. And the volume working. Oh well. Whatever. Saban was doing a film room on. By the way, if you haven't seen, Hannah and Richard Dixon are doing like a film study thing after each LSU game. They're recording it on Mondays. It's really good. We're gonna try to get them. They've been doing it in a different studio, and so the video quality, because of how they're approaching the screens, that we're gonna try to arrange it to get them in the ESPN video studio, like where we do all our shows. That way we can have a little more functionality and just a little better look and view and all that sort of stuff. But if you haven't checked it out, it's Handycast on YouTube. Check it out. It's good stuff. Hunter Broadhead, does sharp money mean big money? No, sharp money is the professional bettors. So there's public bettors and then there's professional bettors. The professional bettors are called sharps. So when you hear sharp money, they're talking about the professional sports bettors, not the public that's going to go bet 50, $100. They're talking about the professional bettors and what side they're on. It's 9:00 on a Saturday. Well done. It's 9:00 on a Saturday. I think they meant 9 p.m. though. Maybe it was 9 a.m. in the Billy Joel song. Kelly Presley, good morning. Daniel Blunt, businessman. There's an old man sitting next to him, making out with the old man next to him. Is E-Rock whipping up good breakfast? Nope, she's sleeping, man. I don't even eat breakfast. I intermittent fast now. I only eat lunch and dinner. I use factor meals. So I have black coffee in the morning. Maintain your fast. I use Perfect Amino. Also maintains your fast, gets you the protein you need. So anyway, KDP, Dustin Balello, see you in a few hours. All right, Dustin, we'll see you, man. Looking forward to it. Arctic Tiger, what's up? Randy Moody, what's up? Let's see. The narrative Nichols running on us is right. They did to LSU what LSU tried to do to USC, kept pounding, finally broke. Imagine SEC team running 38 times won't be pretty. But it's not, because after the one play, they didn't do anything. Like if they had continued to run the ball in the second half, that would be one thing, but they didn't. That's the point. Like they had 2 effective drives in the first half where they converted some third downs, converted a fourth down, and you tip your cap. They're a good team. They went into the locker room at halftime. Clearly they saw a a weakness they could take advantage of with the single wing, and they did. And the kid had the 67-yard run. But like they didn't keep running the ball. That's the point. If you want to play an entire have your entire offensive approach to map toward getting the one big run, okay, well, how did that work? Club Ruckus, good morning. Bryce Hall, South Carolina, 21-17. God help us if they do. Join late, any star position confirmation? Nope. We'll see when we get out there. Brennan Huff, good morning. Kelly Seat's going to be on fire after this one. No, it's not. If they fire him, they'd owe him $68 million. He's not going anywhere. Christian, wearing my FUSC shirt again today because it works for the occasion. Love it. And by the way, and on there it says party like it's 2003. LSU did win at South Carolina in 2003, which was one of the best road trips I ever went on. Lou Holtz was coaching that team. LSU suffocated South Carolina. Really fun trip. Great stadium. The fans were great. I really enjoyed going to Columbia. That's a good road trip. SC has showed up and is showing out. We have to shut that crowd down early. I agree with that. Brian Whitehead, are you going to Louisiana Bourbon Festival? I am not, Brian. I'll be working all day. But shout out to David Steele, Louisiana Bourbon Festival. If y'all are looking for something to do this evening, at L'Auberge, it's on. Would highly recommend. 60 some odd distilleries will be there. You want to go sample great bourbon. Cool thing to do tonight. Louisiana Bourbon Festival. Get your tickets at L'Auberge tonight. Daniel, good morning. ATX. Ron, I got the white Karma as a Tiger shirt. Also just got my company to do advertising for LouisianaSports.net. Awesome. What company, Ron? Please let me know. That's awesome, dude. I'm very, very excited about it. Thank you for the opportunity, man. Shout out your company. Ryan Dixon saw a game day sign that said you can't spell Kelly without two L's. That's pretty good. Bryce. Oh. I think that was it. Because he had that might have been it. I think that was it. That definitely rings the bell, but I want to make sure that that's right before I say definitively that's right. But I'm almost positive that was it. Matthew Stansberry, I hope we run out of the pistol, something to help our backs see and hit holes more consistently. I like the pistol too. I know Hester and Flynn, those guys talked about that a couple weeks ago, and I agree. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. Instead of going sideways, you get a running start toward the line. Cortland, Aggies got pushed around by Notre Dame as well. That was a really competitive game, man. I thought both teams were really physical and good in that game. Tucker, good morning. Let's get this dub today. Got to play good physical sound football, less penalties, more third down conversions. Hey, Kaylee, good morning. Tailgate in Columbia. Rain is gone. Feels great. Go Tigers. Love it. Bring home a win, Kaylee. How y'all feeling about this game? I feel good about the game. I mean, I'll tell you, like, I haven't the last time I said at the start of the show, I'll say it again. The last time I remember having this feeling where I was kind of pushing when everybody else was pulling was the Ole Miss game 2 years ago. Ole Miss was undefeated. They came in here. People were not super high on LSU after they got blown up by Tennessee. And if you remember, many of you may not, but that week on Monday, and I remember this because, boy, were Ole Miss people mad at me. On Monday, I went on there. I'm like, I'm not even waiting until Saturday. I'm telling you my pick right now. I'm picking LSU to win this game. They're better than Ole Miss. Ole Miss is a fraudulent 8-0, and they were. And Ole Miss ended up losing 4 of their last 5. Maybe they were 7-0. Maybe Ole Miss was 7-0, and they ended up losing 4 of their last 5 or 3 of the last 4, whatever it was. And boy, there were Ole Miss people that were ticked off at me. And I remember going to media days next year talking to Richard Cross and a lot of my friends who cover Ole Miss. They're like, man, everybody was looking at you cross-eyed, but you nailed it. I did, because it was just like, that's just how I felt about the game. And I haven't had this kind of feeling about it in 2 years, not since that game, where I feel like everybody is going into this with trepidation. Everybody's worried. They're looking, going, you're on the road, SEC, 11 a.m., game days there, Carolina Sky. I'm like, I get all of that. But so much of that trepidation is rooted in the fact that LSU lost to USC and struggled for a half to put away Nichols. And so y'all are going, and I'm going, what if it's amazing how different your feelings are? Like, what if Nussmeier hits Aaron Anderson on that pass in the flat in the fourth quarter and he scores and you beat USC? Then the fan narrative, and I know this because I've just done this so long, I know how your brains work. Then the fan narrative becomes about Nichols. Who cares? They came off a big win. It was just a letdown spot. Who cares about that? That's how you're justifying it. But because you had the negativity in your brain of the loss to USC, then the first half malaise against Nichols only built upon that and built your angst. What I'm telling you, none of that matters. Situationally, you're still the same team. You were right there on the doorstep against USC. You made some stupid penalties, one misfire on a pass, and you lost a close game. Nichols, you suffocated them in the second half. I mean, after the second play of the second half, did they get another first down? Oh, I left my notebook at work. Oh, well. Anyway. And South Carolina is not good because I'm guessing most of you did not watch them play Old Dominion or Kentucky. I watched both those games. They're a bad offensive football team. They're a bad football team. Brown Bear, good morning, Matt. I know a lot of people are always critical of their favorite teams. I'm appreciative that I can watch football after missing the season last year because of deployment. Great perspective, man. Thank you for your service and great perspective as well. Go Tigers. Oh, what's the atmosphere like for Kaylee? Austin, can't even go a full season in my home gym without a minor injury or two. It's football. H-Town Creole, good morning. Andy Whitaker, optimistic about LSU. The reality is you struggled through most of the game. No other top 25 teams are struggling against FCS opponents. Kind of worrying. I expect them to prove me wrong. That's not true. I mean, by the way, Alabama struggled last week for 3 quarters against South Florida. Montana State beat New Mexico. South Carolina struggled against Old Dominion. The team you're playing, the team you're playing, darn near lost to Old Dominion, man. They beat them 23-19 on that field, the field that you're about to play on. 2 weeks ago, South Carolina beat Old Dominion 23-19, and this is the other part that you're missing. The two touchdowns that they scored against Old Dominion came after Old Dominion fumbled twice inside their own 10-yard line. South Carolina scored 2 touchdowns in the game. Both came when the drive started in goal-to-go situations. They did not drive the length of the field one time against Old Dominion. Against Kentucky last week, they had a defensive score late in the game when Kentucky put its backup quarterback in. At halftime, that was a 10-6 ball game. They had 101 yards of offense, and then they scored two busted play passes that accounted for 75 yards. What is this? Oh, that's okay. Anyway. Golf South, I pay for YouTube Premium, never have ads. There you go. Spend the $9. Spend the money. Go do paywalls. Matt, F that dude. You putting him in the spotlight too much. Don't give him the attention he craves. I'm not worried about it because it actually just gives me the opportunity to point out why I do what I do and to mention our great sponsors again. Because even though that guy's the one who posted the comment, there's other people who need to hear it. So that gives me the opportunity to talk about it. Big Game Energy Scone. Golf South has your YouTube Premium 9. Mine is 18. Let's see. Some guy complains at a 5-star steakhouse. Some people are just wine and live miserable lives. That's true. Let's see. There you go. I like ads. Help me figure out who to call when I need something. Let's see. Do the frogs come out early for the noon game? I don't think so, man. The Rally Frogs. Charlie, what's the real deal with Chris Hilton? It is. It's a bone bruise, Charlie. He's got a bone bruise in his foot. And when you're playing, like, I don't know what you're not buying. He has a bone bruise in his foot. I watched it happen, Charlie. Literally, I watched the play happen in fall camp. Red zone. 13 is Garrett Nussmeier. First play. 3, Chris Hilton. Touchdown, front pylon. 6, Jordan Allen contact. Hurt. This was 8/17/24. Fall camp. There it is. Hurt. I watched him limp off the field and not go back in, and he didn't participate the rest of fall camp. I don't know what you're not buying. I watched the play happen. Matt, did you come across Gruden's breakdown of Saints Cowboys? I did not, but I'd love to see it. He does a great job with film study and all that stuff. It's really good he interviews Drew. Okay, cool. Wearing my FUSC shirt today. I love it. Was 03 SC where the rough truck their quarterback? No, that was 2008. That was Steven Garcia, and that was the last time LSU played at South Carolina. They played there in 03. Then they played here in 07. If you remember, that was the Colt David flip over the head game in 07. And then LSU made the return trip in 08 and won, and that's when the ref knocked down Steven Garcia. The last time South Carolina beat LSU was 1934. They did tie in 1995. I think LSU lost. Did LSU lose to them in 94? And no, wait. They tied. South Carolina was terrible. They tied. It was a Tiger Vision game. I remember watching it. I remember where it was. It was 1995. They tied. Tied at 13. (20-20). LSU was 3-1. South Carolina was 1-3, and they tied. 20-20. Joe DiNardo's first year. All right, please smash the like button if you would. Subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post. I'd be lost on my daily 5 to 10 eggs in the morning, but cooked, not raw like Rocky. Roderick, morning. I'm on my way to Jackson to whoop up on Jay Stank. Go Tigers, go Jags. Let's go, let's go. Y'all drive safe, man. Daniel, honestly, I had no idea drinking coffee and not eating till lunch was a healthy thing. That's always what I've done. Guess you need those aminos, though. I wonder where Herb would factor in. Just, I would say, go, Daniel, go read about intermittent fasting. The concept is that after a certain amount of time, usually after about 12 hours, your body then starts to eat at its, you go into like starvation mode, so survival mode, your body just starts to eat away your fat. Because how your body will choose what energy source to pull from. So breakfast is break fast. You're breaking your fast. So if you continue your fast, your body is pulling an energy source. It's your stored energy. It's your fat. So that's the concept behind intermittent fasting. So eat in a shorter amount of time in the day. So like I'll eat from like 1 o'clock until like 8 or 9, but then like I stay up till 11 or midnight. So I'll eat whatever the last thing in my body is. So I eat all my calories in a shorter amount of time in the day. And so then, hang on, here's Gordy. West Weeks is available. I'm going to tweet that real quick. Got it. Um. Sorry, I just need to retweet all this. This is what happens. Okay. All right. All right. ESPN DirecTV blackout is over. Congrats to everyone involved. Cortland, I keep mentioning trying delayed handoffs and shovel passes since you have bigger holes in pass blocking. Basically, try to recreate a quarterback run with a running back. Nuss 250 in the air, over. I know his total today in Vegas is like 290. You can't bet on prop bets in Louisiana for college players, but a buddy of mine texted me this morning. Oh, Beamer's up there. So I mean, I'm stunned that StatDub is saying under. Anyway, but the total in Vegas, I believe, is 290 on Nuss. Austin didn't even watch the Nichols game. Can't imagine having to play in it. Cortland, if we want to be technical, the 3rd and goal in the first drive was behind the wide receiver, so potentially 2 touchdowns to USC. To 3rd and goal on the first drive was behind the wide receiver. Was that second down was where Lacey caught it but was out of bounds, right? What's the third down play? Was the Mason Taylor target? Was that right? I thought that was well covered. I'd have to go back and rewatch it. Brennan Huff, do we see more Zy Alexander today? Yeah, it sure seems like they're ramping him up. NIU beat Notre Dame. Yes, they did. Mike R. Oregon was up 17-14 late in the 4th against Idaho. We were talking about the smaller schools having success. That's very true. Oregon struggled in their opener against Idaho. Was watching that at Circa Swim. Michigan struggled with Fresno week 1. Yeah, I mean it's just a thing, man. Christian, Oregon having a game-winning field goal against Boise State, struggled against Idaho. Gulf South, did you really bring up Montana versus New Mexico? Guess we should bring up Idaho beating Wyoming as FCS. What about FCS beating FBS? Like, the point is, like, regardless, you're talking about letdown spots. And if you can't acknowledge that letdown spots are real, then, like, there's no real sense in having the conversation. Because, like, someone said, look, Ronald said thoughts on Ole Miss's schedule. Like, yeah, they play 2 atrocious opponents and they've waxed them. Okay. What does that get you? I don't know. But if you can't acknowledge the human element of letdown spots, I don't know what to tell you, man. I mean, it's a real thing that we've seen forever. This is a South Carolina buddy. Okay. By the way, from Gordy Rush, Lenora Sellers is wearing glasses on the field. So whoever said he's wearing contacts. I'm not saying he won't wear contacts during the game, but he's got glasses on right now. Just FYI. Old Rex Bex. Let's see. All right. Where are we? Oh man, sorry, I lost my spot. Let's see. Gulf South, be clear. I don't mind local radio sponsor ads. I've used multiple of those companies. I pay for YouTube Premium. I don't care for national ads. That's cool. Erica does that too. Erica buys YouTube Premium because Drew watches YouTube all the time, and the ads would make him crazy because he doesn't understand why something's popping up his video. So she buys that. I don't care. It's fine. But I don't care whatever anybody's user behavior is. Like, that's your own personal choice. What I don't like is like when you have another option and then you complain about what you're choosing to do. Like, you have an option. Don't complain about it. I know you weren't doing that, Richard. I wasn't saying you. It was the other guy. Charlie, not buying it's a bruise. And Charlie, like, it's a bone bruise. This isn't like a bruise when you bump the wall and you get a bruise on your arm. It's a freaking bone bruise in his foot. He's an elite high-level receiver who has a bone bruise in his foot. Like, this, I don't know what is, like, there's no conspiracy, brother. Like, he's got a bone bruise in his foot. I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, that's what it is. Charlie, you're testing me today, man. Like, what are you, like, I'm telling you 2 + 2 is 4, and you're trying to convince me it's 5. Like, stop taking crazy pills, man. I love you, but come on. This isn't a bruise like, oh man, I bumped my knee against the corner of the bedpost and I have a bruise there now. No, it's a bone bruise in his foot. A bone bruise, a traumatic injury to the bone that occurs when enough force is applied to cause blood and fluid to build up in and around the bone. Charlie, come on, bro. What are you doing, man? Matt, what's your lock of the week? LSU to beat South Carolina. Tommy, let's see. Did you know Pat White was committed to Saban at LSU? I had a feeling Saban would play at wide receivers at a quarterback, so he went to West Virginia. Saban really said he wanted to play quarterback. Interesting. No, I knew Pat White was being recruited at LSU. Absolutely knew that. But that was also, if I'm not mistaken, that was the same class. Was that the same class as Flynn and Jamarcus? I think that was the same class. I could be wrong. I thought that was the same class as Flynn and Jamarcus. No, so he was the next year. He was 04. That would have been, who did LSU sign in 04? Nobody, right? Because they signed Perilou in 05. They didn't sign a quarter. They signed Flynn and Jamarcus in 04 or 03 and didn't sign a quarterback in 05, right? Pretty sure I'm right on that. All right, let's see. Mississippi doesn't allow college player prop bets either. Interesting. That stinks. Nola TX UFC fighting this fit. Yeah, dude, it's a great card tonight, man. I'm really excited. I'm very interested to see Valentina and Grasso as well. Unfortunately, I won't be able to watch because I'll just be locked into football all day. But and night. Nice. Let's see. Let's see. Who's Pulmonary pulling for today? Probably Carolina. I mean, that's not his paychecks, man. Cortland, Arkansas put 70 on Pine Bluff, turned around and lost the next week. Letdown spots are real. I found it funny you brought up the Montana New Mexico game. Just seemed like a couple of random teams to me. The only reason that was top of mind was this is why. So Auburn is playing New Mexico today. That's why this was top of mind. So Auburn's playing New Mexico today, and they're starting Hank Brown. So Auburn had been starting Peyton Thorne. Peyton Thorne started last year, the Michigan State transfer, and Hank Brown was a 3-star that Freeze recruited to Liberty. And when Freeze took the Auburn job, he brought he offered Hank Brown to Auburn. So Auburn is a redshirt Hank Brown is a redshirt freshman at Auburn who's going to start today for the first time. And my point that I was bringing up on the show yesterday, that's the only reason it was top of mind, was because they're playing New Mexico today. Auburn's playing New Mexico, who lost to Montana State, which is why that was top of mind. It is very random, but that, just so you know, that's why it was top of mind. Oh no, John, prayers to anyone involved in the shooting in Denham last night. Man, I didn't know that something happened in Denham last night. My God, God bless. People need to be nice to each other, man. Quentin Breakbill, good morning. David Bass, good morning. Go Tigers. Dr. Charlie knows everything. Who's Dr. Charlie? Who Dat Dude and me is Charlie Cabell. I got it. Is today the day that the run game gets going? I don't know, man. Maybe. I just think today, when you watch this, South Carolina just doesn't have the athletes to run with LSU's receivers, man. Charlie, it's okay, man. I love you, but come on, bro. Like, what are they hiding? Chris Hilton's a great kid. He's a great kid. He's a senior. He's waited his turn. He's had some unfortunate injury history. He's had 3 surgeries. Like, he's got a bone bruise, bro. Like, I don't know what else you want to hear, man. Like, he's got a bone bruise. There's nothing they're hiding. Brian Kelly is the most transparent coach ever with injuries. Like, Les Miles was super, super, super restrictive. Now the SEC mandates an injury report. Like, you got a bone bruise, bro. Roll Tide. How's everyone recovering in SCLA? Good, man. I think for the most part, largely there were certainly areas hit hard. Baton Rouge was largely spared, a jog to the east. So still some people without power, but we could drink. What a nerd. Eli Drinkwitz is such a nerd. Kevin, let's say I hurt myself while trying to do my roof, and now I need a new roof. Doc said I need to lose weight to help with rehab. Any ideas where I can handle all of that? Any idea at all? Well, as a matter of fact, I do. First, you can go to Brock. Their after-hours clinic's open. If you're still having issues with residual pain, you can always go visit Crystal Poche over at Restored Motions. As for the weight loss, unique physique, fantastic opportunity there. Semaglutide, tirzepatide, the weight loss shots, once a week injection for weight loss. I got the best prices in town. No contracts. Do the whole thing over telemed. They can ship your medicine anywhere. So even if you're outside of Baton Rouge. And then, of course, when it comes to fixing that roof, we'd love to help you out at Parrish Construction and Roofing. ParrishBuilt.com. Well done, Kevin. Very well done. Charles getting LSU coaches confused. If Chris Hilton played baseball, Jay Johnson would be hiding and downplaying the injury to all of us. Brian Kelly's pretty honest with injuries. I want more Hootie and the Blowfish. Tuckertown, come on. Why does LSU refuse to go under center for short yardage runs? Lou, I heard a coach talk about this. I think it might have been Lincoln Riley a few years back. But every time I get that question, I always bring this up. I was watching a game where Houston, this might have been when Holgerson was the coach of Houston. No, it had to be, how long? Maybe when Holgerson was the OC. Anyway, Houston played a Thursday night game against Tulane years ago in the rain, and they scored 70. It was probably when Case Keenum was the quarterback at Houston, and they scored 70. And they're up by 70. It's in the rain, and they kept throwing the ball. And the post-game interview on the field, they asked him, why did you keep throwing the ball? He said, because that's what we do. And And I heard a coach, I can't remember who it was, but it was one of those coaches who runs, shotgun spread, said, why do you go shotgun short yardage? He's like, because it's what we do. We don't practice going under center. So whenever when you run your entire offense doing one thing, why would you switch in a really key down? Do the thing that you do. And then, Hester and Flynn were talking about this a couple of weeks ago on OTB, and it was a really good point. Said either way, like he said, this was Matt Flynn saying, he said, people make too big of a deal out of the shotgun or under center in a run because even when you're under center, you're still, when you take the snap, you're still running back to give the ball. So the handoff is still happening deep. So whether you turn your back to the defense and run back to hand it off, or whether you're in the shotgun and the ball is coming to you and then you're moving forward, either way, that handoff is still happening 3-4 yards behind the line of scrimmage. So it's really just about comfort and execution. If you're not taking like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of snaps a day under center, then why do it in the most important part of the game? Do the thing that you're comfortable doing. Oh, Saban was singing Wagon Wheel. Okay. Hunter, good morning. Stat up, FSU line versus Memphis is scary. For what it's worth, Phil Steele was on Florida State laying the 6. So I think there's a lot of people that are probably leaning to Memphis because of the Florida State struggles. This is probably one of those where maybe a get right spot for Florida State. Charlie, salty because your Bears beat my alma mater last night. How about the Bears, man? 2-0. Bubba, Florida allows prop bets, but it's only app allowed in the state is Hard Rock Bet app. Interesting. Okay. Tiger Diver, Eli Drink, he's walking the field at game day doing a hit with Boston Dynamics dog. Oh, Boston Dynamics is. LSU won by 20. That's not struggling. That's true. LSU won 44-21. They didn't struggle against Nichols. They beat them 44-20. Won 44-20. Bradley, Cortland, you could avoid some player betting if you had to register your accounts in person, provide ID and such. I wonder how many people do that, though. He's got a bone for his bro. Should be Rock's next shirt. A couple more. Pierce, why do you always insist that Chris is a senior while classified as a redshirt junior? He's a fourth-year player, Pierce. My apologies. He's a fourth-year guy. I'll start to say redshirt junior. He's a fourth-year guy. He's been in school for 4 years. He's a senior as far as school. Classification, yes, he's got another year because he redshirted. Cortland, you need more than one deep threat. It's not such a big deal. What did I miss? Is Hilton out? Yes, Hilton's out today. Hilton, Jordan Allen, Deshaun Womack out today. Cortland, Matt Flynn said even for teams that constantly go under center, the risk of a bad exchange is high. He wouldn't risk it for a couple of plays. Duval, let's see, South Carolina fan attempting to kick on game day for $120K and losing his shoe is on brand for South Carolina. Let's see, in the 7-on-7 era, I'd say most college quarterbacks haven't taken an under center snap since they played Pee Wee ball. It's true. I mean, it's like, why in a critical spot, why do something you're not used to doing? I don't mean to go across sports, but like bunting. If you have a guy that's the best player on your team that probably hasn't bunted since he was 7 years old, why would you have him bunt in a key spot in a game? I don't mean to start the bunting conversation, but you all know. All right. Got a Gamecock fan in here. What's up, man? Good morning. Cortland, theoretically, I would think about handoff shotgun gives the running back more time to see the hole. That's true. The one thing, though, that Hester said, and this is why whoever said the pistol thing was a good point, was he preferred pistol because his first step is forward. Right? If you don't know the pistol is where the quarterback, it's a shorter shotgun. The quarterback's closer to the center. The running back is behind the quarterback. I think most of you know that, but just for clarification. So what Hester was saying is when you're in a shotgun and you're offset, so the quarterback is standing next to the quarterback, your first step is sideways to get the ball, then forward, whereas opposed to the pistol, your first step is forward. So that's one of the things Hester said about preferring pistol over shotgun. Connor, how we feel about Wisconsin 15.5? I wouldn't touch that game. I would not touch that game at all. I think Bama wins it. I don't know if they'll struggle with it. I think Bama is athletically a far superior team to Wisconsin, and should win and win comfortably. But 15 and a half, I saw it at 17. It's probably come down a bit. I do not love that at all. Would not touch that game at all. I think Bama wins it comfortably, but as far as the spread, no feeling at all. Always bunt on fourth down. That's so good. Florida won the little. And by the way, go Tigers. Understand the point that I made about bunting forever. If I were a coach of 12-year-olds, I would bunt everybody all the time, because at 12 years old, kids aren't as technically and fundamentally sound at fielding the bunt and throwing accurately. So yeah, I'd bunt all the time if I was trying to win a game. It's not making your team any better. It's not helping your kids be any better, but you'd win games. At the professional level, at the SEC level, you should be able to field a bunt and throw the runner out. You're giving up. And by the way, I've always said also, go Tigers, I am always okay bunting to score a run. The objective in baseball is to score runs. Giving up an out to advance a runner never, ever increases your run probability. Like, this is math. Like, all the analytics guys have done this. If you give up an out to advance a runner, no matter the situation, it could be first and second, nobody out. If you go bunt, second and third, one out, your mathematical probability of scoring a run went down because you only have 3 outs. And so, I mean, you can argue with me, but you're arguing against math. Anyway, I don't know how we started on a bunting conversation here. All right. Bama is burning. Good morning. Edward Cooper, good morning. How about Cruz's catch this week? Oh, my God. Did you see the one last night? If y'all didn't see Dylan Cruz's catch last night in right field, unbelievable. New LSU logo is a slight throwback. What new LSU logo? I'm curious. Jeff, what up, my dude? Good morning. Cortland, 48.5. Either of those teams have an offense. If you're talking about Bama, Wisconsin, I'm not touching that game. No one was covering the base. So, field, throw, executing the entire thing. The first baseman messed up. 12-year-old didn't know to cover the base. Do you see improvement? Do you see improvement on defense? Yeah, and I think I'm excited about today too, because I think we're finally going to see Whit Weeks play an entire game at middle linebacker. We're going to see Perkins on the outside. No Jordan Allen means Major Burns probably moves back to safety, or we see Sage Ryan at safety. I think you'll see more of Zy Alexander at corner. Yeah, I'm very, very intrigued to see how the defense plays today with a lot of the shifts, the personnel shifts. Bunt on fourth down. That needs to be a t-shirt. All right. Ron said, who are you betting today? Ron, we're about to wrap up the show. Go back to the beginning, like literally in the first 2 minutes of the show. It was one of the first questions somebody asked. I ran through the entire bet list from Phil Steele. It's like 10 plays, so check them out. All right, I got to go, y'all. Kick off in 1 hour. Y'all have an awesome day. Thanks so much for being there. Go check out Locked on LSU if you haven't yet. I have my full final preview prediction, all that stuff. Please subscribe on your favorite podcast app.